Good evening, everybody. Thanks again for listening. You are listening to the Beauty in Us radio right here on Awesome God Radio. It is June 29th, 2021. I am your host, Nelson E. Brown, and I would like to thank you all for tuning in. So tonight, we have two very special guests. So we're going to have a conversation about creativity and entrepreneurship and how that corresponds with our passions and what it means to promote what we love. So we have two very special guests on our show tonight. So my very own aunt, my aunt Anitra Woods, on to the show to talk about, her creativity and how her passions drive her to what she does. And we have AGR's very own Miss Brianna Cabell, aka Miss Breezy, on to talk with us about many of her upcoming projects that she has that she's been working on lately. So without further ado, I wanted both of you guys to give the audience an opportunity to learn a little bit more about you guys, so that they can learn more about you and what you do and what drives you to do what you do. So anybody can start.
Okay. I guess I'll start first. Thank you for actually having me. This is actually my pleasure to be here with you tonight. I don't use too many platforms at this point, so I want to say thank you for being a part. So I'm sorry, what was the question? Just to get started on as far as explaining how I got started, or what was the question again?
Yes, the question was, could you tell the listeners a little bit more about yourself and what you do and what drives you to do what you do?
Okay, so let's start from the very beginning. I've always been drawn to beautiful things, right? Had a gift. I'm learning to accept now that if I see something and I appreciate it, and it really started honestly with me wanting to purchase certain things, and I'm like, wait a minute, I can duplicate this, right? And that's where it actually started. It really started to blossom, and I realized that I had a thought to do anything crafts and or create. Started when I was a kid, actually visiting my best friend. Her mom was a single mom, but she worked hard and she had a beautiful home. All of the items, literally her house looked like it could have been out of Home and Garden or something like that. So I appreciated her gift to be able to put things together and make them beautiful, whether it was Christmas time, Thanksgiving, or wherever. That's where I initially saw that, wow, I have the opportunity to create these beautiful things if I have the view to do it, if I have the mindset to do it, and if I feel like I see something that's gorgeous, I can duplicate it instead of going to buy it. So that's really where it actually started. I'm just glad that I didn't start this back when my kids were younger. Ashlyn and Marcus, my kids are not even a year apart, so they were toddlers at the same time, basically. So God didn't see fit for me to pursue what is now my passion then, because I truly believe my family would have been neglected, Nelson. So everything happens for a reason in due time, and I'm just enjoying it right now.
Well, that's awesome that now you've had the opportunity to actually see your gifts and and use that talent and to exercise that creative muscle and use it to your advantage. And also, I think it's very important for all of us to recognize what our gifts and talents are, because all of us are gifted in something. All of us have a niche. All of us have something that we're drawn to, and it's on some level, it acts like as if it's like kind of a release for us, because we have different ways to express ourselves. We have different ways to show people who we are and express who we are. So I do know that it's very, very important for us to recognize what these gifts and talents are, because all of us, that's what makes all of us different, and that's what makes all of us special, is because we can all identify with some gift, and we can all use our stories and our experiences, and we can all turn our passions into something that's marketable, something that's not only creative, but it can also be profitable later on down the line. So, could you tell us a little bit about how you've managed to merge your passions, in terms of creativity? I know it's very, very broad when we talk about
No,
that, but
actually, it isn't. Um, I had two college tuitions at the same time. So I had to figure out something that was going to um, help with income for the household. Having two kids, college tuition, and both of them are driving and all of that stuff. So I come from that old school mentality. Everyone should have a hustle of some sort, right? And that's where I am. This is my hustle. This is my plan B. And I've always been taught to have a plan B because you never know what's going to happen and you have to come up with an alternative plan. So this was my plan B. And it did provide, and it does provide a lot more of security than what I would if I had a part-time job. I don't have to work as hard, but I do work hard. I work for I have a regular 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, and that's Monday through Friday, and it's not as strenuous as it used to be. But to come home and to do what I love, and it doesn't really seem like work to me when I'm doing what I love. And I have people that appreciate it, that gives me the extra more of a drive, right? So the hours that I put in here into my passion is so well worth it.
yes, and I think it's interesting because when you say that, everybody should have a hustle. Everybody should have something that drives them to want more and to do more, not only for themselves but also for their families.
Yeah.
And again, and I always think about my pastor one time. He preached a sermon about because he talks about financial literacy and generational wealth and how important it is to actually, in a sense, make your passion your paycheck, and how to turn what you love into something that's profitable. I do know that you have. I know you showed me, before the show, and you've given me one, myself, yourself, of many lamps and many designs that you've just created, throughout the course of your time doing this. And I remember you saying that you didn't really recognize this as your passion until Ashlyn and Marcus were much older. So, could you tell us a little bit? I know you can't show every single thing, that you have, because you have a wide variety of things that you work on. But could you tell us a little bit about the types of designs that you create and what you create them into, in terms of how you make them marketable?
Okay, so basically, you have to have something that everybody wants or wouldn't mind buying. I am more so geared toward um, personalized items that are more unique, and you can't just go buy them in the store. Um, and if you were to see it online or see something online that you wouldn't mind either purchasing for yourself or a gift, you don't have to worry about the shipping costs unless you're, not local with me, so that's how I make it marketable. You have to have something that everybody wants or would not mind having. I do, for instance, like this is a water bottle, but now I call it a wine bottle on the go, you know, and make it to create, with different designs and different thought process and different color schemes and so forth. But this is a new item for me that I actually just started doing. I do personalized wine glasses and whiskey glasses and so forth. And those items are a big hit. I don't know if you can actually see with the glare, but this has a name on it. I do charcuterie boards, and for a lot of people that don't know what charcuterie boards are, I like to say, my little fun quote is, charcuterie boards is just a what do you call it? The little Lunchables for adults, right? And you literally put your fruit and your crackers and stuff on it. So behind me, this is actually a charcuterie board with a quote from Isaiah 1:19 that says, "If you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the best of the land. So this was for a friend of mine who I actually loved it so much that I made another one to keep for myself. Um, so charcuterie boards are gorgeous. They're beautiful. You know, people, you know, that love to entertain. This will be a great gift, whether it's for a wedding gift or a birthday or whatever the case may be. You can personalize it for whatever you want to use it for at that moment. Um, Also behind me are the night lights that you actually have for yourself. I don't know if you have yours nearby to kind of show yours off a little bit, but it was the cover of your book, right?
Yes, it was.
It was the
Let me
cover of
see.
your book. Oh, you do have it nearby. Awesome.
Yes. So this.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
So
this.
that's
Yeah.
a
This is a
seven by
lamp.
seven. That's a 7x7 glass lamp,
Yeah.
block actually. That I literally put the work in to frost the glass, and to put the design on it. You know, which takes a little bit of time. You know, I have to get to know my customers and find out exactly what it is that they like and what their interests are, so that it'll be personal directly for them or for whoever they actually purchase it for.
Yes. Yeah. So this is the lamp that you
Yes,
gave me a couple.
yes,
Yes. It was a
I
while
love
ago.
it. Nice. So again, I mean, I just do and create items that I wouldn't mind purchasing. Um, I do t-shirts as well. T-shirts are not like my favorite thing, because usually when people want t-shirts, they want, you know, something that is a little bit more than what I have been doing. I would do basic t-shirts, but you know, my real creative bone is to design something that you just can't walk into a store and buy.
Yes, and that makes sense. When you're creating, your hustle, as you say, and when you are trying to make your passion profitable, you want something that's much more unique than what, like you said, what people would find in a normal store every day. So
Absolutely.
it does make sense in terms of why you are making your passion profitable in a way that's unique to many of your customers and many of the people, your clients, and the other people that you work with.
Mhm.
And I wanted to ask you two questions. What does entrepreneurship mean to you, and um, what what advice you would give to young people who are interested in pursuing a career in entrepreneurship? Because a lot of people sometimes they dive headfirst into the field of entrepreneurship, but they don't have a lot of tools and resources to use so that they can be successful at it. Because a lot of people look at the journey from A to Z and they don't think about all of the obstacles that you face in the process and how
Mhm.
frustrating it can sometimes be when you're not getting the results that you want or you're
Mhm.
not getting the outcome that you want. So what what does entrepreneurship mean to you, and what advice would you give to young people who are interested and what you are doing and what you are and how you're making your passion profitable?
Well, first, entrepreneurship to me, basically, in my own words, is I'm my own boss with my own boundaries, my own. Um, I get to make my own rules and still do what I love to do. Right? Times have changed so much that I didn't have a mentor to come into this with. This is all by this is all of the things that I actually wanted to learn how to do. Didn't realize it was as much work behind it. But it's a lot of work to be a crafter. I don't know, if you know anyone else that titles themselves as a crafter. But it's a lot of work that goes into it. Um, and again, entrepreneurship really means to me, you get to be your own boss and do what you love. And if I was able to give advice to anyone that needs the motivation to figure it out and get started, I would just say just do it. Reach out to someone. Right now, we have the opportunity of social media that is at our fingertips. We're on our phones, we're on our computers all the time. Reach out to someone that's doing the same thing to you. There, that you want to do. There are groups, on Facebook that I even still follow and have become a part of with the same interests and like mind thought process of, you know, creating things that we love to create, and the fact that people actually want what we create and they are happy and excited to get it. So that is really my drive and my passion when I create something after talking to someone and I create exactly what it is that they had in mind. And the reward that I get from that is the fact that not only did they appreciate the fact that I made what it is that they wanted, um, but I appreciate it just the same because I did that. You know what I mean? I created this stuff that I walk by in the stores all day long, and I see this stuff, and I'm like, I can do this. And anyone else that want to do it, just put in the research, Google, ask questions, just do it. I thought that I couldn't get started because I didn't have the money at the time to purchase the equipment or to purchase the items to get started to doing what it is that I love to do. And when there's a will, there's a way, and God will provide a way for you if you're passionate about it. And I just had faith, but again, I still had no idea that this would be a part of my journey, that I would be what I'm doing what I'm doing right now. And if I had to, I know that this passion and the desire to do what I'm doing now, I would make it. I would make it. I will walk away from my job, and I'm at that point now where I would just step out on faith. So anyone that's interested in following their passion to create whatever aspect it is, whether it's music, whether it is drawing, being a crafter, creating t-shirts, there's always a will to do everything. If you are someone that likes to draw, you can get with someone like myself that do t-shirts, and I would be willing to put your logo on your t-shirt or your brand and help you promote your brand so that we can help each other. So I am big on networking, and I don't mind sharing information. If I know something, I'm going to share it. I feel like there are probably 15 people that want to learn how to do this. I'm willing to teach people how to do what it is that they love to do or wouldn't mind learning how to do. So just be a wealth of information and be willing to pass it on.
Yes, and that is excellent to note. And I also want to note, that you just celebrated a birthday yesterday, and yes, you just celebrated birthday yesterday. So, and that just and you're just proving to other people, because a lot of people also say that a lot of people also doubt themselves and their ability to dive into the field of entrepreneurship. A lot of people also use things like that they think that puts them at a disadvantage, like their age or any other disadvantage that they think that they have. You're never too old to start something new, and you're never too old to dive into what makes you happy, and you're never too old to make your passions profitable, and that's what you're demonstrating right now. You don't have to wait until you don't have to be young in order to pursue these things. You can pursue these things when you're much older, and
Hey, Nelson, I'm not much older.
No. No, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying in general. A lot of people, because I've spoken to people who
I heard him.
Yeah, right.
Because I've spoken to people who, like, even with me, like being an author, even though I'm considered to be a very young author, a lot of people, they come to me with questions, and they come to me and they say, well, I'm not sure if I can, write a book. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. And I just always tell them, like you said, just do it. You have to start. You have to start somewhere, and you're not going to realize what your skills and what your talents are unless you write it down on paper, and unless you figure out what they are, because all of us we all have strengths and weaknesses, but for our weaknesses, we can find, someone else who's strong in our areas where we're weak, so that we can be uplifted and so that we can feel empowered and inspired. And like you said, it's nice to have that mentor, someone who's actually been there and who's gone through many obstacles in order to get to where they want to be. And taking heed to that and listening to that is really worth, the time, the energy, the money as well, and the effort. So it's good that you're demonstrating that to many people who are afraid to take that next step into doing what they're passionate about, into doing what they love, so that they can actually make their passions profitable. So it's really, really great that you recognize that and you're following it and you're not letting anything stop you or discourage you.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I mean, I'm definitely at the point now where um I'm not 45 is definitely exciting. I love where I am right now, and I love the fact that I'm not afraid anymore to step out on faith. I'm not giving myself the excuses anymore as to why I can't do something. Um, I research, ask questions, and try it out. If it work, it don't work. That's fine, but I'm going to figure it out. So it's just a will. If you have a will, there's a way. That's that old saying, and it still is the same today. If there's a will, there's a way. If it's something that you want to do, then do it. Figure it out. Again, we have the internet at our fingertips. We can research. We can, get all the information that's required to be successful and get the tools that we need to be successful in any avenue of our life, not just being an entrepreneur.
Yes, and that is very excellent. So before we head over to Miss Brianna Bell, I wanted to give you an opportunity to tell the listeners where they can reach you if they're interested in purchasing some of your merchandise, or they want to learn more about your designs and what you do with as an entrepreneur with your side hustle, as you say.
Okay. Well, like I said before, I don't really use too many platforms like Etsy or Pinterest or anything like that, because I still do have a regular full-time job. So it would be a little bit more demanding. I would have to get somebody to come and help me out. But I can be found on Facebook as Anitra Woods, and Anitra Woods. I'm also on Facebook as well under Sun-Kissed Crafts, and I believe it's Sun-Kissed.crafts, if I'm not mistaken, but it's attached to my regular Facebook page. I am also on Instagram. Now, this is where I am feeling a little old, Nelson, because now I can't remember exactly what it is. So it's at Sun-Kissed.crafts, and that's on Instagram. And on Facebook is #Sun-Kissed-Crafts. Other than that, just my name, Anitra Woods, and I will be happy to share some new other photos and all for you to share later and to post, because I am items. I make everything to order, so I don't keep a whole lot of items here because I don't have a warehouse. I have a little room, so.
Yes, well, that's amazing that you've had the opportunity to do all of this and to share this with the listeners, and again, it's amazing that you've had the opportunity to make your passion profitable, and you're doing what you love in the process, and it's something that you don't think twice about, and that you still stay encouraged and you stay uplifted, and you find the joy in teaching other people about this process and about what it means to actually dive deep into this. So that's really, really awesome.
Well, I had somebody tell me a long time ago that actually saw the talent that I had, that said, stop being lazy. And initially I was offended, because I'm like, do you realize that it takes money to do all of this stuff? Are you willing to be a silent partner? You know what I mean? But now at this point, that's water under the bridge, and it is what it is at this point.
Yes, and that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing that, taking time out to actually come on and share that with the listeners, because you're actually helping someone right now who may be scared to take that leap of faith, and who may be afraid of making that sacrifice in order to get to where they want to be as an entrepreneur, and figuring out where to start. So that's awesome.
Yep. Nice. Thanks for having me.
Yes, you're welcome. So I'm going to head on over, and we're going to switch gears, and we're going to head on over to
Hold up now.
Okay.
Nika, don't go nowhere now, because I'm going to have some questions for you later. Don't go nowhere.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't go.
Okay. We can, so we can probably ask questions towards the end before we end the show. But For now, I'm going to shift gears a little bit, and we'll all have the opportunity to ask questions at the end. But as we shift gears, I want to introduce my one of my colleagues from Awesome Guide Radio, Miss Brianna Cabell, aka Miss Breezy. She was the host of the Uplift Show here on Awesome Guide Radio, and she's also spent 20 years in the book publishing industry. She's an author. She's been fantastic. She's been on my show before. She's talked about much of the work that she has done in the literary world. So I'm glad to have her on again to talk about her work that she does and how she's been able to merge her creativity into entrepreneurship in a way, and how she's been able to use her passions in order to express herself and in order to help other people see who she is from the inside out. So thanks again for hopping on for another edition. This is your second time on my show. So I just want the listeners to just learn a little bit more about you, the new listeners, to learn a little bit more about you and what you do, and where you are now in terms of what you're pursuing.
Okay. Well, as you said, I was formerly the host of the Uplift Show. I did the Uplift Show for a little over 3 years, and I finally had to take a break. There comes a time when you have gone as far as you can go in one area, or you've come to the end of a particular road, and you have to take a little detour. So the Uplift Show is still in my heart. The Uplift Show is still in the hearts of the Awesome Guy Radio family. The Uplift Show hasn't gone anywhere. It's still here. I'm just not producing currently, but I'll be back. I'll definitely be back. Like you said, I have been in the publishing and writing industry for, I don't know. I actually started writing seriously when I was about 10 years old. And my first book was published when I was 23. I don't know. I'm like Miss Anika. I'm getting kind of old. I don't remember stuff like I used to. I am listening to you speak, Nelson, and you're talking about using your creativity to follow your passions. And immediately, when was that? Miss Arona says, "Bring the Uplift Show back." Yes, ma'am. I'm working on it. Immediately when someone says creativity, the first thing you tend to think of is something like arts and crafts, or you would think of singing. You would think of something that comes off the top of your head. You think of painting, you think sketching. I don't think a lot of people necessarily lump writing into creativity. My creativity, and I love to paint. I love to sketch. I'm not fantastic at it, but I love doing it. I like to express myself in different ways, but my creativity comes out in words. I did once write that words are our most common form of expression, but they are our most inadequate form. I'm sorry. Words are our most common form of communication, but our most inadequate form of expression. We say words constantly. We're always talking. We are chatting with the mailman, or we are talking to the person in line behind us at the grocery store. We're, passing cursory words back and forth to our neighbors. We're yelling at the kids. We're kicking the dog. Whatever it is that we're doing, we're always talking, but we're not always communicating. Communication to me is a part of creativity. So I use my words to communicate in a creative way. That to me is what writing is. I've been doing it, like I said, since I was a young child. I wrote my first play when I was in like the 5th grade or something. I have done many productions since then, lots of skits and plays and dramatizations, monologues. I've been doing a lot of stuff. And I really love what I do. If I remember correctly, it was Confucius who said, if you do something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And believe me, like you, Miss Nico, I have a 9 to 5. I work. I works for a living. But I love what I do as well. I'm a nanny right now. I'm a private nanny. I've been in early childhood education for over 20 years. And I love it. I absolutely love my little honey bun that I have now. His name is Ethan. He's 11 months old. He's got the biggest, brownest eyes, and he likes to bite my legs. I love I love what I do. But when it's time, when I'm off the clock and I'm on my own time and I'm sitting in front of my computer doing what is my passion, what is my creativity, that's when I really start to flourish. I'm working on several projects right now. Nelson was so gracious to come and support me as an actress, where I was on stage in a production of For Color Girls that came in May. And the young lady who was typing out that she wants the Uplift show to come back is actually Miss Arona Carroll, who was our very distinguished director of For Color Girls. And a lot of people have seen the movie. They saw the Tyler Perry adaptation of For Color Girls, but a lot of people didn't realize that this was a play long before Tyler Perry came along. And the play and the movie are two totally different creatures. The movie was excellent. I think he did a great job. But the play is something totally different. It took me out of my comfort zone, and it opened up another facet of my creativity that I didn't even know that I had. Since then, I have actually been working on bringing some of my own projects to screen and stage. I am currently working on a screenplay based on a novel that I wrote several years ago called Meanwhile on the Other Side of Town. And Nelson, I sent you the trailer. Did you get a chance to see it?
Yes, I did get a chance to watch that.
Okay, so I'm
a lot of question marks. A lot of question marks came up.
Well,
I have a lot of question marks.
That's something to whet the appetite of investors, because it's all about that money. It's all about that money. You got to have the money in order to get like you said, people don't realize you can't just always jump into the deep end of the pool. You got to have some money in your back pocket before you jump. So as I am working on my projects, I'm also working on ways to garner some money in order to make them come about. One thing I want to touch on that you said is sometimes you find out what you love, you decide what you love, and you go for it. And I absolutely agree with that. However, when we're talking to our young people, we have to let them know that every single person, this is a question you asked, Nelson, everybody is not cut out for entrepreneurship. Everybody's not cut out for it. Everybody can't be the head, because if everybody is the head, then you have no tail. And I was always taught that any two-headed creature is a monster. So everybody can't. If every single person has a donut shop, then there's no point in having a donut shop. You got to have somebody under you. You have to have somebody who's learning. You can't be a leader without having followers. So people need to become. I know you were going to ask me that question anyway, so I just decided to bring it up my own self. You have to learn how to be a great follower before you become a great leader. And that's something that I like to express to my young people. I do a lot of mentoring of young people, especially young women. And I say there's nothing wrong with being a follower as long as you do it with excellence. And when you learn to be an excellent follower, then you can become an excellent leader. I'm working on my leadership because I've been following for a long time. Now that I'm an old lady, it's time for me to take over the reins and start leading.
Okay.
But I really did, and I enjoyed listening to you. And I'm telling you, I am a person of branding, especially when I was doing the Uplift show. I put my logo, my name, my face on every single thing I could. When we went out to do live events or whatever, I had my table set out. I had custom fortune cookies and lollipops and and many flashlights, business cards, postcards, anything I could find to put my face on.
Mm-hmm.
My face was on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really get the opportunity to do things like that like I used to. But now that I have another resource in my back pocket, when I'm ready to start putting my face on some more stuff, I'm going to be calling you.
Listen, I'm right here. And look, and speaking of faces on stuff, right? I'm actually going to show you this. And this is just a compact mirror that I had done for a friend of mine. So this is literally a mirror. You see that?
Yeah.
And speaking of faces on things, so let me know. I'm your girl. I'll put your face on whatever it is you want, whether it's that or branding a mug. Just let me know. We'll get it done.
Excellent, because everybody needs to see this face.
I hear you. I
But
hear you.
that's definitely, I'm all about branding. I always say, if you're going to put yourself out there, put yourself out there.
Mm-hmm.
I want people to be so sick and tired of seeing my face that they'll buy something from me just to make me go away.
Oh boy.
You're somewhere. Get out of here. You're somewhere, and you hear cat hair. Sorry, the cat is fooling around, and she's got hair all over me. Um, I'm sitting like right in front of the fan, and she keeps scratching herself in front of the fan, so all the cat hair is blowing directly into my face.
Oh wow.
But I will always say, put yourself out there. I did bumper stickers. I've got my face on my car window with a big old picture of me that says the Uplift Show only on Awesome God Radio. Even though I don't do the show anymore, I still got my face on my car. You know whose car that is when you see my face on it.
That's right.
So somebody somewhere, every now and again, I'm, at the grocery store or at the mall or wherever I am, and I'll come back to my car and somebody's standing there saying, I was waiting for you to come. Tell me about this show. Or I've been in the drive-through lane, and I'll pull up in the drive-through lane, and the person who's taking my money for something I don't need to be eating will say to me, tell me about this show. Do you have any, where can I listen to your show? And I pull out, okay, here's a card. Bam. Here's the website. Bam. Here's a postcard. Bam. Here's a fortune cookie. Bam. Take it.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get yourself out there. What is it?
Yeah, not and it's also too, I feel like again, people have learned within this pandemic to do things differently, to gather differently, and to just have a different process on how you can get with groups and have fun. I've also enjoyed hosting crafting classes or sipping crafts instead of a sipping paint kind of thing, where I'm literally providing the materials for you to make whatever it is that we discussed that you wanted to make, whether it was a wreath or a plaque of some sort. I did door hangers that was really popular for Halloween, and people just we're learning how to do things differently. And we just have to think outside of the box.
I definitely agree with that. This pandemic has taught us how to tap into our creativity. It has taught us how to change the program. It's taught us how to get with the new thing. Because normal is no longer normal.
Normal is no longer normal. Right?
And in all honesty, normal is never going to be normal again. We hear the expression, the new normal. Well, you know what? There is no such thing as normal anymore. But even here at Awesome Guy Radio, we had to adapt. We haven't been in our studio in, over a year. Everybody had to adapt and had to learn how to broadcast from their homes or from their home offices or wherever they were, because we didn't have access to the studio. So I have learned amazing things being here and having to learn how to produce my own show, having to go and buy equipment and cameras and microphones and stuff that I never really thought I had to before. Now I have to do it, and now I can teach somebody else how to do it because the pandemic taught me that I had to learn how to do it. So yeah, you're right. This now is the perfect time to tap into these things. because
Absolutely.
we have so many resources. You said about the internet. Yes, we have Facebook and we have Twitter and we have Snapchat and we have LinkedIn and we've got Etsy and we've got all the eBay, all these resources that are right at the tips of our fingers. You don't even have
Hmm.
to go out your house.
Hmm.
You don't have to get out of your drawers if you don't want to.
Hmm.
Don't you laugh at me. We are in a unique time and we have some unique opportunities, and I'm excited to see where we're going to go, especially in the black community. And I'll tell you
Hmm.
why. Because black people are some of the most resourceful creatures
Are
on
we?
this earth.
I will second that. Listen, I say we are brilliant, we are creative, we're intuitive, we are we are spontaneous with our thoughts and how to make money. I went to a party the other day, and I was sitting there like, wow, these guys are they are smart. They figured out how to promote their parties and their businesses and gather people together to have a good time. But in the process of what they did was they used a local automotive company to pretty much advertise at their party. So basically, their party was paid for from the venue that they used because they used a local business to buy into, the fact that they wanted to advertise and let everybody hear the sound of this business. And I'm like, wow, all of the ticket sales was their money that they were able to keep just because they were smart enough to use advertising for a local company. Brilliant. Brilliant. Who thinks to have a commercial plan in a nightclub? Us.
That our folks can't make a
Us.
dollar 15 cents.
And you got it all day long. You got
Anytime
it all day long.
give a bunch of slaves who can't read nor write, give
Hmm.
them some leftover pig parts, and they can have some of the best food you've ever had on
Hmm.
your table. You know those are people that are
Hmm.
resourceful and can make
Hmm.
something out
We
of
are so
nothing.
resourceful. I agree with that 100%.
Oh, it looks like you got an order here for Miss Arona. She need herself a wreath.
Oh man, I love it. Thank you, Miss Curl.
And
So
I will vouch for her and tell you that Miss Arona will support you until she
nice.
is one of the most supportive people I've ever met in my life.
You
And if
know,
she
and
says she's gonna support you, oh, she got your back.
Well, listen, I appreciate that 100%, but just imagine what it would look like if we were able or had the opportunity to create our own Black Wall Street all over again, right? Supporting each other. And through this pandemic, we've also learned that too, how to support a local Black business. We have done that. I mean, it's to the point where I think now we're learning how powerful our dollars are if we just support each other.
Nelson, I realized that we just done left you out of the conversation.
No, I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying it. Like I'm enjoying this. I'm just sitting back and I'm listening to everything you guys are saying, and I really do enjoy having these conversations about how we can all merge our creativity and we can merge our entrepreneurial skills and our mindsets in order to make something great, for everybody. So I enjoy having this discussion. It's not, this show's not always about me. I like to share, this platform with everybody who has an opportunity to showcase something great and something that is going to uplift others and inspire others and be the motivation for others to do what they want to do and to have that model or that represent that person to model after in a sense. So it really does help, talking about.
And I think sometimes we just have to be the model for people and show them that it's possible. And especially for our youth and our kids, not necessarily keep telling them and drilling in their head, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. We have to show them how to do it. We have to guide them, we have to teach them, and give them all of the tools that they need to be successful. As opposed to just saying you can do it. Anybody can say you could do it. You could, yeah, I could do it, but can you show me how to do it?
I absolutely agree with that. 100%. that we are visual learners.
Mm-hmm.
Different people learn different ways, but
Mm-hmm.
if you want me to learn, show me. Don't
Mm-hmm.
just tell me what to do,
Mm-hmm.
or just put me out there and say, well, you can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But as they say, if you teach a man to fish, or you give a man a fish he eats for a day, you teach him
Mm-hmm.
to fish he eats for a lifetime. You
Mm-hmm.
have to teach, and the way to teach is to live what you're teaching. Especially for our young people are very smart, and they
Mm-hmm.
know when you're just giving them some lip service. They know when you're just
Mm-hmm.
talking.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't just run off at the mouth about all the great and wonderful things that they can do, or even the great and wonderful things that you can do, but you're not showing them that you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I was told one time, this was years ago, by someone who shall remain nameless. It's not even important enough for me to say his name, but said to me, I don't know, I think I was in my early 20s, and this person who was a grown person, well over twice my age, that you need to do this and you need to do that with your life, and you need to do this and you need to go back to school, and you just constantly telling me what I needed to do. But this person, his life was basically sitting on his bohunkers, doing nothing but watching TV and drinking beer. And I was like, how can you tell me what I need to do when you're not showing me that you're doing anything?
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you are right. We have to tell them, and then we have to show them.
Show them.
I get asked a lot because not only do I publish my own books, but I publish for other people as well. And I get the main question I get from would be authors all the time is, can you teach me how to write?
Hmm.
No, I
Mm-hmm.
really can't. I can give you some pointers. I can teach you grammar and diction and spelling. I can teach you those things, but
Mm-hmm.
I can't teach you how to write because that's something inherent. But what I can do is show you me. You get to know me, then you read some of what I've written, then what you're seeing is me on a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
So then you can take that and say, well, who am I? Let me put myself on this piece of paper too. I can't just hand you one of my books and say, here, go read that, and then you'll know how to write. I can't do that. I have to spend time with you. I have to teach you by just by being.
Hey, this is definitely a live show.
Yes, that happens sometimes.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. All right, you're muted. You're muted. Okay.
I put myself on mute because you say you heard that terrible buzzing when I plugged my
Yes.
computer in. You hear it now?
I still hear it. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm going to jump off and get on my phone.
Okay, that's fine.
So yes, Nelson, I wish I had more to show today, but I would be glad to show, forward you some photos of some of the pieces that I have done that I'm so proud of. Um, and hopefully it would be an interest to somebody, even if, the next time I host a crafting class, which is geared towards adults and children, hopefully it'll interest somebody.
Yes, absolutely. And crafting is something that, like a lot of people, I feel like it can sometimes be overlooked because a lot of people don't think about it automatically when they think about different ways to make your passion profitable. But this is very, very unique for a lot of people. It definitely gives them a better understanding of what it means to invest in the world of crafting and what it means to actually turn it into a business and what it means to actually, make it, like I said, profitable, not just for yourself, but also for others. So, and again, it's important to realize that, okay, okay, she's back. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Can
I'm
you hear us? Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you.
All right. So, So let's see. One thing I wanted to ask you, Miss Breezy, was, um, what advice would you give to young people who are interested in pursuing a career in your field of entrepreneurship, your field of, you're an author just like I am, and I like what you said when you talked about, because I get asked the same questions. People always ask, how am I supposed to write, or what can I write? And I always tell them, I don't know. Because I can't tell you what to write and how to do it. It's up to you to figure out what your niche is, what your knack is, and because it's such, the literary word is very, very, the literary world is very, very abstract. I can't give you a textbook definition of what it means to be an author. You have to just write, and you just have to do it, and you can't really figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are unless you write them down on paper as an author. So I can't, because and people, just like they ask me all the time, can you teach me how to write? Well, I don't know how to do this, and I don't know how to do that, and I always tell them, I can't spoon feed you information in terms of telling you how to write a book or how to write. Period. You have to do it yourself. I can't do it for you, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and that's unique. So, what advice would you give the young people who are interested in pursuing a career as an author, or if they want to be a part of this community?
I would tell them that writing is simply an extension of who you are. So the best thing to do is not to think too hard. You don't think about who you are. You don't think about, even though we should, we don't think about every word that comes out of our mouth. We don't think about every action we take. We don't think about what clothes we're going to put on necessarily first thing in the morning. You just do it. You are who you are, and you do what you do because it's who you are. So when you sit down to write, you don't have to have an agenda. You don't have to have an outline. You don't have to have a deadline. You don't have to have anything but your pen and your paper or your computer, or whatever it is you write on. Just write. Write what's in you to write. It might not make any sense
Mm-hmm.
at first. It might come out jumbled. I know sometimes when I'm writing stories, I start right at the end because that's the first thing that's come to my mind. Well, okay, I'm going to write a story, and all I know is that Bob, that's all I know. So I write, Bob is dead. Okay, so now I have to go back and figure out who is Bob and why he's dead. But on sometimes I get a title and nothing else. So I just scribble down a title and then I'll go back to it later. I don't put any pressure on myself. When I'm writing, like I said, I'm working on a screenplay right now, which is an offshoot of a novel that I wrote. I've never written a screenplay in my life. I've written a whole lot of things. I know nothing about screenwriting, but I'm not putting pressure on myself. I'm researching how to do it. I'm learning how to do it. I'm writing a few things, and when I get tired or when I get frustrated, I stop. Period. I'm not going to try to force myself to conform to anybody else's idea. And I try to get that into my young, especially into my young people. As what they say, do you, and be you. Don't try to be anybody else. People used to say to me all the time, "Oh, you're the next Maya Angelou." I don't want to be the next Maya Angelou. I love
Mm-hmm.
Maya Angelou. She's one of my absolute favorites. But can I be the next Brianna Cabell, please? I don't want to be her. I don't want to take anything away from her. I don't want to be Oprah. I take Oprah's money, but I don't want to be Oprah. I don't want to be you. I want to be me. And the only way to do that is to be true to myself. So I want to tell my young people, be true to yourself. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about is writing, well, then wake up in the morning and start writing. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you think about is singing, well, get up and sing, or get up and pick up garbage. Some people want to be garbage men. There's nothing wrong with that. Whatever that your passion is, do it. As Miss Anika said, do it. Just do it.
Yep.
Until you do it, you won't be happy. I remember this is we tend to talk about Medea like she's an actual person, which she isn't. But I heard Medea say one time, "You will only get peace two places: your house and the grave." And she refused. She's like, "I refuse to have anybody in my house that's taken away my peace."
Mm-hmm.
And I would take that one step further in that you are your own peace. And until you're doing what you want to do, what you love to do, and how you love to do it, you're not going to have peace within yourself. So
Right.
I want you to go out there and find your peace because nobody else is going to be able to give it to you. Man, now my phone is about to die. This is ridiculous.
Oh, no.
Lord help me.
I mean, it's
Uh-oh,
okay.
did we lose Nelson?
No, no, I'm right here. I just wanted to ask you before we
Okay.
ask any last minute questions. I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions that you guys have about the work that both of you guys do, or just about anything in general, and how Miss Breezy, how the listeners can reach you if they're interested in becoming an author, or if they want to know more about how to take a dive into the world of literacy.
Well, it is very easy to reach me. All you have to do is go to briannacabell.com. I am very easily reachable by email, by phone. I think my number is on there somewhere, or one of my business numbers on there. You can find me at Facebook at what is my Facebook name? Easy Breezy Brianna. That's it.
Yes.
Easy and number letter E and letter Z Breezy Brianna. You can find me there on Facebook. I'm also on LinkedIn. The new project that I'm working on, the movie, is called Meanwhile on the Other Side of Town, and you can find more information about that at Meanwhile at on the Other Side of Town movie.com. But again, my main website is simply briannacabell.com. I am available all the time. I'm always getting messages, so I'm always checking my messages, and I read them all and I answer them all.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks again,
For
both
the
of you
most
all, for
part.
being on the show. Thanks again for being on the show and being a part of this broadcast. You guys have definitely opened up you've broadened the perspectives of what it means to merge creativity and entrepreneurship, and how you can make your passions profitable, all while enjoying it in the process. So, do either of you have any last minute questions before I let you guys go and finish the broadcast off for the evenings for the listeners?
No, I don't have any questions, but I definitely do want to say thank you again for allowing me to be a guest and giving me the opportunity, another platform to display my love.
Yes, thanks again for taking time out to be a part of this broadcast and to share a lot of a lot of the work that you do with the listeners, and uplifting them and encouraging them in the process. So, Miss Breezy, do you have any questions or last minute thoughts that you or of what you want to share?
Questions? No, but yes, I do actually. I want to say again what your business name is. It's Sunkissed something. Let me
Sun
write it down.
kissed craft.
Okay.
Sunkissed Crafts.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna be looking you up on Facebook. I'm gonna send you a friend request, so you better respond.
Okay. Absolutely, I will. Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you
Sunkissed
guys
Crafts.
again.
Okay.
Thank
I'm
you guys
writing it down
again.
because I promise you, in 3 minutes, I will have forgotten. Sunkissed Crafts. Okay, gotcha.
All right. Well, again, thank you guys again
Okay.
for.
Last thing I want to say.
Okay. All right.
Last thing, my new book, which is called Chasing Shadows to Catching Dreams, Tale of a Phoenix, is an autobiography, and it is now available on Amazon. So all you have to do is put Brianna C. Cabell into Amazon, and all of my stuff will come up.
Okay, that's awesome. And well, again, thank you guys for again taking time out to talk talk about your work that you do. I'm going to close the listeners out with a few announcements before I conclude the show officially. So again, I want to just let you guys go, but I wanted to take time to thank you, and I do appreciate everything. You guys have definitely inspired and uplifted. You guys have definitely made a difference for the listeners and given them a lot of food for thought.
Absolutely, no problem.
So thanks again. I'll catch up with you guys a little later.
Okay, take care.
All right, you too.
All right, dear.
All right, I'll catch up with you later, and I'm going to make sure she gets her design. Well, that wraps up another edition of the Beauty in Us Radio right here on Awesome God Radio. I do apologize for all of the technical difficulties. I do want to let you guys know that summer is officially here. So again, we are all in the process of getting back to getting back into the swing of things. We are in the process of taking our summer vacations, and because all of the restrictions are being lifted and all of the we're coming on the other. We're reaching the other side of this pandemic, and we are all in the process of trying to learn how to do this together. And we are all doing this together, and I want to keep that in mind. And I also want to let you all know that the Dear Nelson column for Thoughts Magazine is coming soon, and I still want to know what you all think. I want to know what your ideas and what your suggestions are. I'm going to be writing content and creating content for that column. So I still want you guys to be mindful of that and to let me know what you would like to see and what you would like to read in the column, because I have many ideas that I've jotted down already. But since you all are my readers, I want to appeal to you all. Next week on the Beauty in Us Radio, right here on Awesome God Radio, we are going to have Manuel here with us. And he's going to talk about his life as a personal trainer, a fitness expert, and a lifestyle mentor. He hails all the way from Canada, so Vancouver. So I'm going to let you all go for the evening, but I want you guys to make an appointment to meet me back here on July 6th, 2021 from 6 to 7 p.m. I hope you all enjoy the 4th of July weekend this weekend, and I hope you all have the opportunity to spend some time with your family members and with your friends, and to just reach out to someone you may not have reached out to in a while, because we're all in the process of creating that sense of normalcy that we talked about a little bit. Even though things won't always be normal anymore, we are coming out on the other side of this pandemic, and we're all anxious to see each other again and to connect with each other again, since we haven't had that for over a year. So I want to keep that in mind. But again, Mr. Dave Manuel is going to be joining us next week, July 6th, from 6:30 to 7, to talk about his career as a personal trainer, as a mentor, and as a fitness coach. So I'm going to post content about that show this Friday. And again, I encourage you all to enjoy your 4th of July weekend. Stay safe, and I hope you all continue to be blessed in all of what you do, and to stay encouraged and uplifted and inspired by what you do. So this is Nelson E. Brown with the Beauty in Us Radio right here on Awesome God Radio. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure you connect with us through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all of the other social media sites in the process. Take care, and I will see you all next time.